Miss Goodwin, and today we are looking at Objective 2.1.2. We are going to be proving angle relationships. So the objective is that we can prove angle relationships that are formed by a transversal crossing parallel lines. So before we begin, there's a term I want to cover, and that is postulates. This is information that we accept as true, and these will form the basis for our proofs. So 2 postulates that we are going to be needing for today is that vertical angles are congruent, and if lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent as well. So these are 2 pieces of information we accept as fact, and we can use these to form our proofs. So let's go ahead and get started with a pretty simple one. So we are given this figure right here with 2 lines F and G and a transversal crossing through. We are given that F is parallel. This symbol means parallel to. And we want to prove that angle 4 is congruent with angle 8. So that's these 2 angles right here. So to start our proofs, we want to set up a little table here, a 2-column table. On the left-hand side, we are going to be writing our statements, and the right-hand side will be our reasons. So all our proofs will be formatted like this. Now the first column, we're going to be writing what we see. So the first statements are always going to be what is given to you. In this case, we know F is parallel to G. And the reason for that is that it is given. And that's that. Now, our second statement is that angle 4 is congruent with angle 8. And how do we know that? Because of our postulate right here. If lines are parallel, then they are congruent. So let's go ahead and write that. And that's it, because we have the statement we wanted to prove. So we are done with our proof. Now let's look at something that's a little more complicated, but before we do that, let's look at another property. So we have the transitive property. This states that if x equals y and y equals z, then x will equal z. So we just take the y out of the equation. And that will be important for our next proof. So let's set up our table. Statements. And reasons. Now, we are given that F and G are parallel, and we want to prove that angle 4 is congruent with angle 6. So let's go ahead and get started. So these 2 are angles 4 and 6. And let's look at our given information, which is that F is parallel to G. Now for my next statement, I'm going to look at one of our angles that we need to use and say angle 4. Now, using our postulates from above, vertical angles are congruent and corresponding angles are congruent. I know that 4 is congruent with 2, and 4 is also congruent with 8. So you could pick either one of those. I'm going to let's do 2. So I know angle 4 is congruent with angle 2, and that is because these are vertical angles. Now, notice that angles 2 and 6 are corresponding angles. So I'm going to put that as step 3. So angles 2 and 6 are congruent because they are corresponding. So we have that long reason here. Okay. So if lines are parallel, then corresponding angles are congruent. That's what ALEKS shows what you do to prove some ALEKS. Now we see here angle 4 is congruent with angle 2. Angle 2 is congruent with angle 6. So we can use our transitive property that we just covered. And we just proved our statement. So angle 4 is congruent with angle 6. And we actually just proved the alternate interior angle theorem. So that's our start in proving theorems. Go ahead and get started on your playlists assignments. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me in class or through email or Canvas. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.